I went into Lee Cronin's The Mummy completely blind, and that was intentional. I was a big fan of the Evil Dead Rise movie, so I wanted to trust the director and just be surprised. And yeah, I was definitely surprised, just not in a good way. Because what I wasn't expecting was basically Evil Dead Rise 2, but with a mummy skin slapped on top of it. And unfortunately, this movie is kind of a mess. It's not scary, the story barely makes sense, and the characters, some of the most frustrating, unlikable decision-make challenge people I've seen in a while. I'll keep this as spoiler light as possible. The movie starts in Cairo with this American family living abroad. The first act is actually pretty interesting. Their daughter gets kidnapped by this mysterious woman. Cool setup, right? So what do their parents do after that? They moved back to the United States. They just leave. Like, well, lost one, still got backups. First major, what are we doing moment, right? Fast forward 8 years and suddenly they get a call. Their daughter has been found inside a 2,000-year-old sarcophagus. Okay, now we're talking. They fly back, find her in a hospital, completely catatonic, decomposing, barely alive. And the doctor's recommendation? Yeah, just take her home. That's best. No treatment, no containment, no explanation. This is the second what moment of this movie. So they bring her home, and things just get dumber from here. At one point, they put her in a wheelchair and then thump her all the way up the stairs to the second floor. Then just to decide, actually, we'll carry her once they get to the second floor. Like, what? Why didn't you just carry her up? Why did you have to thump her in a wheelchair all the way up the stair? And this is where the movie really leans into full Evil Dead mode. The daughter, now basically Mummy Demon Edition, start doing creepy things like biting things, twitching, and attacking people. And the family reaction is consistently, let's get closer. Like, they're constantly putting their faces inches away from someone who clearly trying to bite them. At one point, she literally headbutts the grandma and breaks her nose. And somehow nobody learns anything. There's also a scene where the mom, who is a nurse by the way, accidentally peels half of her daughter's skin off while cutting her nails. And still insists, I can handle this. Meanwhile, the dad, who looks like a Temu version of Chris Pratt, is the only one with a little bit of common sense. He suggests maybe getting professional help. And the mom gets offended and starts a fight with him. Because obviously, what the situation needs is less logic and more ego. From there, it's just a chain reaction of bad decisions. Possessions start happening, the grandmother gets taken out in a pretty grotesque way, and things spiral fast. There's a wake scene where the daughter escapes, start drinking embalming fluid from the dead grandmother. Yeah, that's the level we're at. Meanwhile, one of the kids is casually pulling out her own teeth and bleeding into the food, and nobody seems overly concerned. There's also a professor character who shows up for like 2 minutes, feels important, and then disappears completely. And a detective subplot in Cairo that conveniently wraps it up and delivers the answers exactly when needed. The final act? Total chaos. You've got full-on Evil Dead energy, possessions, resurrections, screaming, body horror, and then suddenly it turns into The Exorcist with a sacrifice moment. Except, it doesn't even commit to that, because the movie basically goes, just kidding, no consequences, and reverses everything in the last minute. So nothing really matters. And that's the biggest issue with this movie. There's no tension, no real stakes, no payoff. It's gross, sure, but not scary. Loud, but not intense. And everything feels predictable because the characters keep making decisions that only exist to push the plot forward. It really feels like Lee Cronin wanted to make another Evil Dead movie, but instead wrap it up in the Mummy branding to cash in on nostalgia. And look, I loved Evil Dead Rise. That movie was tense, creative, actually scary. This feels like a watered down copy with a different label. Overall, it's messy, frustrating, and honestly, kind of a waste of a time. Don't spend your money on this, wait until it hits streaming, and even then, lower your expectations.